Welcome traders. So my name is Adam from Trade with Precision. Let's have a quick look at what's going on in the market. So first of all, having a look at the euro dollar, very little movement this last week, but what I do want to highlight here is that we have broken back into the range, and therefore my expectation is that we will continue to work our way up towards the top of the range. However, we may also be due for a bit of a retracement, and so just keeping an eye on sort of key support resistance levels that we're close to. But for the most part, my expectation is that US dollar will continue to weaken. If we have a look at the dollar yen, again, we've broken through a key level of support. We pull back into a potential area of resistance. What I'm looking for this week is a continuation to the downside. The momentum indicators are relatively flat or bearish. Not expecting any changes there. If we have a look at gold, I think both gold and silver were relatively surprising here in the sense that although they are somewhat overextended, they have continued to push higher. So for now, I remain bullish. We've got a brand new uptrend on gold at the moment, but we do have some bearish divergence. So what does that mean? It usually means that the trend itself is exhausted, and therefore we shouldn't be surprised if the trend itself starts to fail. But I just want to reiterate here that gold continues to be bullish as well as silver, but there is definitely some divergence there. Right, if we have a look here at crude oil. So crude oil is in a very interesting location in terms of price. We can see that it's testing two key areas of support and resistance, and overall it is still bearish. The issue here predominantly is that will this area of support hold, or will it ultimately be broken? So the key thing here is that if we break through this level of support, my expectation is that we will continue to see crude oil drop down towards closer towards $40, which is going to be quite a surprise for the markets. But other than that, overall, the market is range bound, and therefore we might find that we still find some support in this area. The S&P 500, so let's have a look at the global indices. So we've broken through major levels of support. We're currently in a retracement phase. So what I'll be looking for this week is to see if we find some bearish candles forming close to these key levels of previous support, to see if we find some resistance there. If we do find resistance, I'll be expecting them to continue to head lower. It'll be the same with the Nasdaq. Right now, currently looking relatively bullish, but for the most part, it is still in a downtrend. And so what I'll be looking for this week, at least in the first half of the week, is a retracement back up into resistance levels. And then I want to see if we find resistance there, if we continue to the downside and ultimately finish lower. The same here with the Russell 2000. So actually here you can see it's broken back in within its monthly range. This is relatively significant. I think we're back at the top of that range. Let's just mark it here. And so here for now, what I expect to see is a potential test of that level of for support. Alternatively, do we continue down to the bottom of it? And Tesla, out of interest. So we've got a very strong downtrend here. We've got a very nice bearish momentum on both indicators, both the MACD and RSI. So ordinarily, under these types of circumstances, regardless of what we are looking at, I would be expecting a continuation to the downside. Going to be very interesting to see how Tesla plays out by the end of the week, but technically, I would expect a continuation lower. Nvidia as well, testing levels of support. Certainly here, we're looking at a monthly retracement. We're in a really good place here with the moving averages. I would love to see a test lower just to let off some of that buying pressure. You can see a lot of pressure up at the top, but also a lot of interest below that. So Nvidia is really just battling here between the buyers and sellers. Ultimately, for now, it makes more sense that we would continue to see it go sideways until one of the two sides ultimately capitulates. And then we finish off here with Bitcoin for today. Bitcoin continuing to drip a little bit lower. Makes sense to me that we would see it head towards $70,000 for the most part. Although there are plenty of buyers here, we have actually rejected that level of support at 91,000, and I would expect it to continue down until it does actually find some support at the moment. So just to sum up, if we have a look at the global markets, including cryptos, Bitcoin, we're still seeing some of that bearish sentiment. If we have a look at the dollar is still showing some signs of potential weakness. So there could be some great trends for trend traders on the dollar pairs with regards to Forex, and then cautiously bearish with regards to traders on the global indices. And then we'll have to see how the rest of it plays out. So, ladies and gentlemen, trade carefully, keep calm, and carry on. Thank you.